driving me to taking me somewhere, and I tried to follow the
curriculum.
Yeah, the vibe of the. I try to find the vibe of the flow of the people, and I was basically trying to process what was being shared, what I was going to share, right? Because remember, I said I didn't get enough. I didn't wasn't resting. I was working on something else.
Mm-hmm.
And because I had put that up there, cognitive behavior therapy, of your thoughts, your emotions, and your behavior. What we think affects how we act and feel.
Yeah.
Emotion, what we feel affects what we think and do. And behavior, what we do affects how we think and feel. There was a guy by the name of Elijah Muhammad. He said that vision stems from the source of one's thinking. I've learned that every thought begins with a seed, which means something must be planted. And when you plant a seed, either you got to cultivate it or you got to put what? Water on it. Now, you know, some people read the book, it says that somebody plants the seed and somebody come and water it, but it's that which we call God gives the increase.
Right.
So, yes. When I look at the word what, it seems as though we are asking for specific information. Information is like the raw data. We can take raw minerals from the earth and convert it or do what we need to do to make it out to something that could be beneficial or profitable.
Make production out of it.
Yeah, right. Like we get the oil, then we refine it. Like people can get coca leaves.
Give it a purpose.
Yeah, get coca leaves. They get
Make
the coca.
chocolate.
Yeah, do all that stuff. Remember? Because and you're because intentions. You got a good point. I'm talking about what they do. Remember, intentions is judged by your actions. Because people can take that which is meant for something that will benefit the people, that will help them for medicinal reasons, and they would take it to benefit their own pockets.
Right.
So they turn coca leaf and process it and turn it into cocaine.
Right.
Oh, coca leaf.
Yeah.
Oh,
But what he was saying was like, how they say
I said chocolate.
Vietnam, the famous
I
saying
got
was
your point,
make
though.
love.
Your point is good. Your point was actually, your point.
In Vietnam, the famous place was make love, not war.
Yeah.
And you're saying, in your choice, make chocolate, not cocaine.
They people do that because it's a dangerous thing. Yeah, it's a good thing.
Or both.
Yeah, that's right. It's a dangerous.
Don't make it for me. I'm good.
Yeah, because it's a dangerous thing when somebody is in the laboratory, very diabolical.
Right. Yeah.
Trying to create a monster. Amen.
Monstrosity.
Yeah. In doing so, what happens is, remember I said earlier, be careful what you put out. You may not like how it come back what? In return.
Yep.
Yeah.
So now you can't control it, It's almost like when you do a history check, when you talk about how drugs affect certain ethnic group of people. Systematically, it is done to affect African Americans, right? Systematically. I'm not downplaying that. Anybody else?
Right.
And then, if it affects African Americans, then it's going to affect what? White Americans.
Right. It's going to affect it.
It's going to keep affecting people. But the least probably that is effective, and I ain't necessarily mean that it's so, but what I've learned is Jews and Chinese. I'm talking about substance use.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
So you're saying it stems a certain culture, you would almost, or a certain.
Yeah, no question, because it will weaken them. If someone sees you as a threat, their job is to weaken you and make sure that you don't become a what? Become a threat to them.
Right.
That's weird.
Yes, but now you're talking about it.
It's
Now
very-
you're on something. You're on
very
something.
plausible,
I'll tell you what, y'all gotta hear me good on this one here now. Because if anything that needs to be killed, it's not so much an individual, but it's the mentality of the
Right,
individual.
right.
Huh?
There
Yes.
you are.
Yes. Because you can tell the collective psychology of one's mentality by what they produce. Let's be clear with that, seriously. And we can see how the impact that it has on the society at large. We look at it, we call the drug war, the drug crisis, whatever it is that the term that they want to use, these political terms. And we see how systematically things are done to further make people, as I said, make them what? Weak. And then they become emotionally and psychologically dependent on that. And I ain't talking about the one that is using the substance, but I'm talking about the one that is putting people in a position to make them weak. So they become addicted to that.
Right,
Like, that's
right,
some
right.
shit.
It's like spreading the virus.
Huh? And you don't see them, and we don't see them as being the addict themselves.
Right.
But they are the addict, and not only are they addict, but they are the what? They are the drug dealer.
Yeah.
Let's be real
Yeah,
with this
let's
thing
be
here,
real,
man.
real. Them drug dealers is big addicts, straight up.
And I'm talking
Sometimes
about,
worse addicts than we are.
And
You
I
gotta
know,
look
I
out.
already know.
You gotta look out. And we know that shit comes down and it affects us.
Yep.
Huh? The common person, so to
Crazy.
speak, if I may use that language. And then they don't create, they try to minimize rehabilitation systems. They try to do all that thing to cut them out. But God damn it, anytime Kwame Ture says, anytime you do a correct analysis, you got to create the one who created the problem in your analysis. Huh? That's serious, ain't it, man?
About as serious gets.
So we say that thoughts now. What we think affects. You know the guy by the name of Walter Payton, the football player. Walter Payton says that I need to get to the destination before the defender does. Why? Because the impact would be greater on him than it would be on me.
Right.
Damn, that's
deep.
Think it ain't, man.
That's deep.
So once you know already, you know that you can lessen the what? The impact. Don't, man, you know already. Lessen the impact, man. You know better. Don't become so emotionally and psychologically appended on that, whereas that drug or that substance, your emotion, your attitude, has a greater impact on you. Because if it has a greater impact on you, it's going to have a greater impact on your children. It's going to be greater impact on those ones who you love. We'll be compromising and jeopardizing not only our lives, but the lives of those who love us, who care for us. So, what we think, we're talking about a plan for the future. What we can imagine. How do we see ourselves? We're not addicts in a sense how people like to stigmatize. No, we are human beings. But we are dealing with an addiction problem, and that addiction problem stems from our early childhood.
Yep.
And not only stem from our early childhood, it stems from the early childhood of others who refuse to accept responsibility for their own emotional turmoil.
To acknowledge it.
Because Bob Marley never said it better. He said extortion, the misuse of authority. So now we see that we got to use the imagination and wisdom when we talk about vision of how we see ourselves. So we can live out our true purpose. You remember the movie The Godfather, as he was talking to Mike, and he said, well, I don't make no excuses what I had to do to make sure my family's all right. But he says, I can't be careless. Women and children can be careless, but men can't be careless. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So when you get to a point in your life and you're mature, you don't want to be careless, man. Huh? You don't want to be careless. We have to accept the responsibility and the consequences of the decisions and the choices that we make. And we always must know that ownership is a direct correlation of opportunity. That means we must own up to being a man and being a what? Woman. We must move from the survival state to the what? To the living state. Huh? Animals what? Survive. Humans supposed to live. That's why I shared with you earlier. I said that, I forgot what I shared. Yes, why should somebody in heaven be contingent upon you living in hell? Oh, Satan, come on, man. Who does that?
Why y'all up there in heaven ready to send someone to hell or let them in?
Man.
That's
Because,
some weird shit.
yeah, we're talking about exclusion and inclusion.
That's a
Huh?
gang. That's gang violence.
You on it, boy. I tell you, on it. She on it. See, she thinking now. She processing it. Don't that make sense? You know, let me tell you something. This shit beat anything that Hollywood could put on. What the fuck you think you fooling?
Amen.
I live this hell of a life, and you want me to come up here and let you tell me all the shit I did wrong. And then if it's too bad, I gotta go to hell. If it's okay, then I can go into heaven.
You already. Actually, we know that they're just states of conditions. You gotta have an elevated state of mind. That's your heaven, the way that you think. When you're thinking below your elevated state of mind, that puts you in hell.
Right.
So we got to rise above in the matter way in which we what? Which we think and what we think of ourselves. And don't let nobody else heaven be your hell with that they are living in hell and then they try to bring you in their hell and you think that they are in heaven because you are comparing yourself to them. Who the fuck are they that you can compare yourself to them?
Absolutely.
Huh? Ain't the yardstick, that ain't the measurement. And then you can compare yourself to them. You don't compare yourself to nobody. Because there'll never be another, never want to be another, each and every one of you all. If you want to know what that which we call God is, then man, you got to look at your DNA. There'll never be another one of you. So we got to live up to what we need to do to benefit ourselves. And remember, we must see ourselves as being free. And when we're free, totally, mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually, when we are free, then we can say we have our Genesis. Whoa, God Almighty, you ain't hear that? That becomes our what? Our beginning.
Yes, sir.
Purpose.
That's right, you on it now. He said purpose. Because when you look at the book, it said Genesis, book of beginning. That's when people are not mentally, emotionally, all that, they're not enslaved anymore. Then that becomes your beginning. And you move on with purpose. And that's what we want to move on. We want to move on with purpose. Now we know when we're talking about vision stems from the source of our thinking. Now we're talking about our thoughts. Because we want to move on with what? With purpose. And when we move on with purpose, we want to have determination. Huh? And when you have determination, you have dedication. And when you have dedication, you have commitment. And then you can say, I can see clearly now the rain is gone. Rain, what do I mean by rain? I mean that which ruins over you. That which could ruin you. You say, I can see clearly that you ain't gonna allow your thoughts, your feelings, your attitude, your emotions, your old habits, your old ways, you ain't gonna allow it to destroy you. You ain't even gonna allow your trauma, your past experience, how somebody treat you, what they thought about you, how they feel about you. You ain't gonna let that destroy you no more. You can see clearly now, ain't that something? That the rain is gone. Then the song says, I can see all obstacles.
In my way.
That's in my way, huh? And then what else it goes? It says something else, but I know it says it's gonna be a bright sunshiny day. Huh? Ain't that some shit, man?
That's the old school stuff, though. Y'all like that.
Ain't that some shit, ain't it, man? So now we get into emotion now. It says what we feel affects the impact. What we think and what we do. So we moving, remember, we moving with what? With purpose now. We moving with determination, dedication, and commitment. Huh? We moving with purpose now. And our emotion is leading the way in this wise. And I ain't talking about without the logic, but remember, every thought begins with a seed. Because we're trying to find this balance, this Then we get into what? Behavior. Please realize that the faculty that has been given to us is the ability to be able to reason. Think about it. Because if you're talking to someone and no one is unable to reason with one another, a good brother never told me about it, Brother Paul. He says a demon is present. Ain't that something?
Damn right.
Because you should be able to what? Reason.
Right.
You sitting there trying to reason with somebody who don't know how to reason. I was watching a movie one time and the guy said, have mercy on me. He said, man, why are you asking me to have mercy? I don't have the ability to reason. God damn. So you know what he did, right? Killed him. Wow. So if you don't have the ability to reason, why would you do that and wind up killing your what? Yourself, man. Huh? Don't do that, man. Don't do that, sister. Don't do that, brother. Stop killing yourself, because we often know that drugs don't kill you. They put you in a position to kill your what?
Don't pick it up, can't
They
get
give you the directions and instructions. The full layout.
Pick it up, you can't get in.
And you ain't even got that experience.
Now we know about scientists now. Scientists create something in a laboratory. And they keep it in a bottle. Scientists, you know, that's what they do. You know, they try to figure out. Some of them mean well. Solid. But when they let the genie out the what? Oh, that's a problem, ain't it, man? Once it comes out of the bottle, it says, make a wish, huh? Make a wish. Oh, I wish I could make money off this thing here, boy. Oh, I wish I can get top dollars for what I'm doing, boy. I wish I can get notoriety for what I'm doing. Oh, man, I just wish it. So then it says, well, let me give it to some people so I can give it what? Make it a test run and see how it is. You know how it is. Somebody's always using you as a what? As a guinea pig, as a tester. Ain't you tired of somebody using you as a guinea pig, and as a tester, as a lab rat, all that silly stuff?
Amen.
The fuck would you look like?
The guinea pig, I guess.
People would do that, man. Humans do that, man. Humans try you all the time. Using you as a tester. Fact about it, you will get to the point that they will make you that scapegoat. As I always say this. Humans are the only species that will befriend you just to kill you.
That's deep.
That is true.
That's some deep shit.
That's my
Well,
God.
everybody ain't your friend. I don't care what nobody say. Nobody come to you be all friendly to you and they just trying to set you up. It's almost like they propositioning you. It's almost like when they propositioning you, and don't get offended on that, they proposition you. In fact about it, they mind up sending y'all that they try to prostitute you.
Without even asking.
Don't get offended by that. I'm talking about what I'm saying. You shouldn't get offended by how you will allow ourselves somebody to put us in that or treat us in that manner, in that way. When we got to say enough is a what? Enough. Say, back off to me. What do I look like to you? We all came up with morals, values, and what? And principles. We deviated from it. And then we interact with somebody who they deviated from it. But their deviation and their intention maybe were different than yours. And they meant to cause you harm when you meant to cause them good. Ain't that some shit?
Right.
Huh?
Right.
Ain't that something? You meant well, you meant them no harm, but their intention was to harm you. And then we get so dependent on that we wind up allowing the person or the thing that harm us. We become dependent on that. We become psychologically dependent on it. We become emotionally dependent on it. That same damn harm. Behavior now. What we do affects what we think and what we feel. So we need to change our what? Our behavior. We're here because our thinking, our attitude, and our behavior. So we got to change our thinking. We got to change how we see ourselves and how we see ourselves in the world. We got to change our attitude about ourselves. And change that, and we can't necessarily change the attitude about others. We can't change the past, but we can presently change our attitude in the present. Because when we do that, we look at the word present, we see it. The word is a present. That means that we are a gift. That's why they call it a present. You are a gift from what we call a higher power. Huh? So now we got to tap into that higher power that's in us. Why do we want to tap into a higher power or get high off the power of substance use, substance abuse, or the higher power of somebody that's misusing and abusing us? And we render ourselves to be helpless, hopeless, and powerlessness. Because all they're going to do is perpetuate that hopelessness, that powerlessness, and that helplessness. You, it's on you to put it to a what? Put it to an end. And as they say in Hollywood, at the end of the movie, they say what? The end. Take a 15-minute break and come back.